they do it on purpose. You have people like Pablo Escobar going around building houses for the community. It's not out of the goodness of his heart. He knows that the more people love me, the more they will tolerate me doing on the back end of it. Okay, so he also knows that information is out there. He knows that if you know something about me and I did
You do
something
that.
good for your family, you're way less likely to share this information with the people that can take me down.
Most conversations stay safe.
This one doesn't. I'm Vivian. I ask the questions people rehearse and then don't say.
I'm Tian, the one who pushes back.
And this is Cosecha Salvaje Wild Conversations.
Every week, a new conversation.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's so inviting. I mean, I don't smoke, but it looks like cool. If I didn't know better how to smoke, for sure, I would say, oh
Yeah.
man, I wanna look like him. That's
Oh
not an
yeah.
easy thing to do. It's like, yeah, it has shape, everything. It's beautiful.
Sorry.
I can't even do what you do, the little donuts.
Uh-huh.
I
The
can't.
little donuts.
No, yeah.
I see. I
Uh,
gotcha.
I'm useless in terms of smoking. That's never been a thing.
The
Yeah.
donuts is hard, don't worry. Many people who smoke for years can't do the donuts.
Well, I mean, there's many things about that. Like people get really talented. I really admire when you can just like hold the smoke, give a full speech, like no smoke coming from your mouth, and then release. It's like, how? That's a
I
talent.
see.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Have you seen those vape contests?
There is a vape contest. Who came up
Yes,
with that?
you should Google it. It's next level. It's what you're talking about now, but like next level.
Oh man,
Like
that would, yes.
they can not only make donuts, they make hearts. They make big ass donuts like this, and then they shoot small donuts through the middle of them.
That's a
Oh
talent.
man, you should see. They can, like I say, they can make like hearts, and they can do all kinds of stuff.
That is so interesting. I mean, nowadays, especially Germans. Have you seen like the competitions the German has? Like the most random things, It's like how precisely can you push a shopping cart to get into the line? Like how you need to get it to a specific line. How precise can you do that? Or
That's
the one that I've seen
that
is like
sounds
cutting
very
the
German.
pretzel. Yes, yes, cutting the pretzel. You
Yeah,
need to cut it this like exactly half. They need to weigh the same. Like so
I see.
random. Yeah,
I see.
yeah,
Yeah, that's very German. Very
yeah.
German.
Entertaining though. I mean,
I guess I feel like watching Germans cut pretzels in half.
I mean, there's many worse. Japanese and Chinese ones are
Oh
beyond
yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes, like especially when it comes to reality TV.
yeah. Because I mean, they just do stuff that they don't do outside. It's like forbidden to do outside, but full television. No, let's do it. It's actually a good thing.
Yeah,
It's
uh,
I don't get
yes,
it.
yes.
I really don't get it.
I get it. It's fun.
No, the
Like
Japanese and
like
Chinese, no.
if I could think of any game show I want to be on, I couldn't. Like there is no game shows I would go on except maybe Takeshi's Castle.
Which one is that one?
It's the one where they get a. It's like an obstacle course.
Oh.
Yes,
It's like Ninja
but
Warrior?
yeah, imagine a purposefully funny version of Ninja Warrior.
How funny.
Like in one of the events, they have like they start with like 100 people, and then in the last event, you have to do basically laser tag from a crash car, if you understand. So there's one guy, they call him the Emperor, and everybody has to kill him. But they have like laser tag and bumper cars, so they're chasing around trying to shoot this person with their bumper car, and they just shit nick each other the whole time. But like in one of the events, it's like one of the first events. It's like these walls,
Mm.
and then you have to run, and the wall has many doors in them, and all of the doors look the same, but like some of them are solid. In other words, just solid wood. Others
Ow.
are paper, and you can run straight through them.
But they look the same. You don't know which one
And they
is.
look the same. You don't know
Oh
which one is which
no.
one. And it's a race. So there's like 100 people running at this wall. Each one of them chooses a door. Okay. Some of them run like smack dab bah, into the wall. Others run through the paper and they can keep going. Others run through the paper and then there's like a mud hole on the other side.
Uh, that is amazing.
Yes, yes. The Kishi's Castle. You should try. It's so much fun.
It sounds fun. Like I realized, like I don't know, like reality shows are next level, but I do enjoy more when they are obstacle courses. I do. I think it's just fun to see how the producers like put their minds in to make things super hard. You know? It's
Yeah.
like they're thinking like how we can make their lives very difficult.
Oh yeah. I mean, having worked in that kind of television, like uh, these are like creative people. Like they can
Yeah.
come up with a lot of, they can come up with a lot of stuff, and I could never understand why people make reality TV because I hated watching reality TV, and pretty much everybody I knew hated watching reality TV. And then I worked on a set for reality TV.
And I
And
think
I
it's
realized
amazing.
it's because it's so much fun to
It
make.
is so much fun, yes.
It's they
It
don't
is.
give a shit about, really the people watching or the or the audience. I mean, it's there, it's in the back. But for them, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And they realize there's plenty of stupid people that's gonna spend their time watching this kind of tomfoolery. But it's so much fun to go through the process of you know making reality TV.
I agree, and especially the ones with the, I mean, me that I worked as well in reality TV, but in the ones that like are obstacle courses, I saw the final product, and I have to say that that's one of the shows I will watch. I never actually watched, but it, but I saw like final product, and I was like, man, I will watch this show because the drama is not in like the reality TV dramatic, how would you call it? Like the basic one, like relationships and like house drama, let's say. It the
Mm.
drama is in the competition. like how hard and like especially because in this one specifically it's like individual competition into a group one. So like each one has the same weight. You're not a group that needs to finish all together, which I think it's like way more fun because they sometimes they just cannot handle each other and they just, explode. But in this one,
It's a thing.
it's you against you first as a group and then individual. And when I saw the final edit, like the bits about the house are like super small. Like I will say, like when they were not in competition, they're pretty much boring people. They try not
Yeah.
to make it like some drama in between, like like love crashes and clashes and things like that. But it was just
It
very
was
much.
just filler. Yes, yes.
Yeah, people were there for like
Just
to
people
support.
were there to win. Not to
Yes,
win. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And people took it really like seriously. These people were like fit, like they
Yeah.
care. I remember the one who won. No, because I've seen others that they just they go with the flow. But the one who won, they were from Hungary. I remember. This lady, she will wake up like 2 hours early every morning when the house was quiet, and she will do the same routine over like every day. It was like, I mean, she won for a reason,
I
and
see.
literally you will see her, and it's like she started as a replacement. That's the fun part. She started as a replacement because somebody was eliminated or went home for some reason, and they brought somebody new, and she started halfway, and she was like, "I'm gonna win this thing."
I see.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I really like reality TV, to be honest.
I
I don't
mean,
watch
it's
it
got
anymore.
it has its ups and downs. Like I don't really watch any television, but I guess at least there's something about watching other people do something slightly out of the ordinary in a very ordinary way.
Yeah.
You know, it's and let's be honest, most of these are kind of scripted,
Yes.
you know, but it's not scripted in the regular way. They kind of let people do what they're gonna do, and then they see something, and then they say, okay, let's do that again. So let's go through that, natural progression again. So it's scripted much more loosely, and it fits together much more naturally. And I think that's a part of the appeal. People know, like, if you watch Survivor, like that stuff is scripted. People know this, but they still love it because there's an element of the mundane, natural. You know, it's kind of like I don't know. It helps people relate to the characters a little bit better, I think.
That's interesting because and it also has evolved according to like n- nowadays modern standards. Because the beginning, like we're talking about like 20 years ago, these people like survivor type of formats, these people will starve for real. Like like they will have to actually do their own food, and you can see the deterioration. Like they will be very badly physically throughout the contest. They was literally surviving. Now it's more condensed. They do feel hunger, but they're fed. They're not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the health and safety people ruin everything, to be honest. This is
yes,
certainly what's happening. When somebody looks like they're a little bit bleak and gonna pass, here's a protein bar.
yes, yes, yes.
Like,
I mean, now people don't die,
because
but
they just don't want to get sued, which so We gotta understand that this is the world we live in. Like, this is a part of why I'm saying, like, when it comes to traditional TV, like, something that has to go on a network, it's very hard to make good television nowadays
Yeah.
because you got so much to consider. First of all, you don't want the actors or the participants in this case to sue you and take all of your profit for the season. Okay, some of these shows operate on a small margin. Like, yeah, they might make 1 million, but it costs them like 999,000 to make this show. You know, so, so some of them operate on a small margin. First of all, so that also some of them have other projects. If you understand what I mean. So if they make a mistake in one project, it could affect their other business. So it's disastrous for them. Uh, uh, s- so they're so afraid. I mean, they've got so much stuff to think about. Like, first of all, you cannot offend anybody. Okay, you don't want somebody to get hurt. You don't want somebody. I, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. It's very difficult to make good television nowadays because if
Yeah.
you think back historically, and if you see, if especially when it comes to comedy, but uh, I mean in TV in general, if you see what's really successful on, let's say, YouTube, something like this, where the rules are still a little bit more
Then.
reasonable.
Mm,
Yeah, if you think about comedy, the ones that are really offensive do the best
yeah.
on YouTube. You know, the ones that would never be able to go on network television, just because they gatekeep people's feelings, and people don't like that. It's one of the reasons that what they call, I suppose, legacy media is it's going out of not only out of fashion. I think these people are going out of business. Like,
Yeah.
there are B-list Instagrammers, and this is wild. There are like B-list Instagrammers and YouTubers out there that have more people watching them daily than Fox. It's wild. It's really like, the world has changed. They're preaching to a very very specific choir. You know, mostly much older people who you don't understand and they don't understand you. So I don't know. I don't know why they're still around, and I don't know how they managed to mismatch themselves with the world so badly. These were big, strong companies with solid bases and excellent viewership at times, especially historically during the 90s and so. How they managed to completely miss the bus on what media was going to become is beyond me. It, only arrogance can explain it, really.
I don't know. It's just I think it was so well curated before. It's like
Yeah.
legacy media was something to look for, something you wanted to be for part of. It was like perfect words, perfect setup, like perfect physical appearance. It's literally like watching the Olympus every night. So you see it so perfect, there must be true. It's like that. I think it's
Turns out that's not what people wanted all along.
exactly, exactly. So, so I think they try to evolve to be relatable, and they lost that like gadness kind of thing. And
Yeah.
also now it's funny because now it's the time of like it's like the Me Too era bigger, you know. Now the things that have been happening forever because this is not new. It's just like it's public. That's the only thing. It's like there is social media. That's the only thing, but it's not new. So every single legacy media in the world has one scandal now about being harassed in a way or another. and people that were supposed to be like super like extremely respectable gentlemen, like
Mhm.
super good. Now they're in the fire because it happens that they were not as
Yeah,
perfect as we thought. But people
yeah.
treat
This
it
is
like
this
it's
is
new.
this is the problem when you curate this image of perfection, right? Like it gives people a reason to go looking for for some. Because let's be honest, nobody's perfect. All of us has done not so nice things.
Yeah.
Okay? But when you build your entire reputation on, this is, and then it turns out you're Harvey Weinstein behind closed doors. Yeah, just the fallout is just so much worse because you just now you've coupled your identity with this kind of perfect image that you've curated. And then the moment there is something, anything really, then it just all falls apart because now your identity itself is not only damaged, I think it's like it's dismantled completely. It just falls apart completely.
I guess my problem is not with the situation because, like I said, like it has happened from the olden ages. It's just before we didn't have any proof, immediate proof, let's say,
Mm,
to say anything. But now that everything is like coming apart and everybody's finding out what's happening, they treat it like it's new. It's like they just committed like capital sin,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
it has never happened, and I think that's a little wrong. that
That is
that
totally
shouldn't be
wrong.
treated like that
TV, television, and entertainment in general has been a shady business like since the
forever.
very beginning. Like since the very, very beginning, it's been shady, very
Yeah.
shady. Like, and not only the people on the screen, the people behind the screen. I mean, there has always been lots and lots of drugs involved. And where there's drugs, there's money, and where there's money, there is shading. That's just how it works.
Right now, there is a scandal about the two national TV companies in Colombia because of that. It's like just now everybody found out that like the two most respectable figures, like one from like news and one from sports, like super respectable from ages. Basically, they were with the channels since they were born. That was like almost 25, almost 30 years ago. And like the women that started speaking out, a few of them said, like, I didn't do it before because if I did, I wouldn't have been able to open the doors I have now. You
Mm.
understand? So it's like
Yeah, and
how
that's
how
how,
to
and,
yeah, how
and
how
that's
to
how
play
that
with those
that's
things.
exactly how that business works. Okay. I mean, to a certain extent, that also becomes like a threat that they use. Like,
Hmm.
you like in Hollywood, they used to say things like, "You can't say no to Harvey Weinstein." It's like career suicide. Okay. So,
And it
firstly,
was for
this
many.
is an aura. Yeah, this is an aura that they create, and yes, it certainly is at least partially true as well. Especially if you have people who are in such positions of power that they can make or break your career. It's not great. And I think these power structures that they have in entertainment, which are set up almost exclusively to have power flow through one or two different people in an area. I think it's a part of what is eventually becoming their downfall because
Mm.
now, if what happens in Hollywood hinges on the say-so of two or three men. Two or three men can really easily make a mistake. If it's millions of people on YouTube deciding what they're gonna watch, they're much more likely to get it. Someone is much more likely to get it right. You know, and then the viewers, they will just vote with their feet. Like for instance, Joe Rogan. If you had told me in the 90s when Joe Rogan was on Fear Factor that this
Uh,
guy was going to be the most prolific talk show host of all time. And like him or hate him, that is what he is. Okay. Uh, I read somewhere that CNN and Fox combined sometimes pull 3 million views in a night. Joe Rogan does 20 million week in, week out. There's an Oprah, it's Oprah's wet dream. Like, like she never had anything like that. It wasn't even possible to them back then. What this guy is doing right now.
I would say he's like the Oprah's version of modern times because what she did was quite spectacular. I'm not a fan of Oprah at all.
E-
I never
even
saw
me,
a show, a
even
full
me.
show.
Also, I think it was that was very fake and very scripted and
Yeah,
superficially so, right? However, you gotta give the devil its due. She did, push the boundaries of what could be done with that kind of, you know, Oprah Winfrey, Ricky Lake kind of format. There's not many people who could have done with that as much as she did.
and that time, yes, because I mean,
Yeah,
she
exactly.
used it something that now I'm not sure how she did it and how possible it is. But for example, the one that I can remember the most is the car ones. Like she gave away 50, 60 cars in a session, because
Yeah,
you get a car, everybody gets a car. It's like,
yeah,
what kind of money
yeah, yeah.
laundering
I,
is this? It's like what's happening?
I mean, I think if you go back and you look at the books, there's gonna be discrepancies. You'll also find all kinds of things happening, going on, just underneath the surface of it. But I think this one, it always, I remember my mom used to love to watch it, and it always it started out with like, oh, and there's a book under your seat for every one of you,
Yes, yes,
and
like
giving
there's
away a
always
book to
gift.
everybody. And
Yeah,
then, yeah, this escalated way past that. But I mean, when it comes to corporate power, if you think what some company pays for an advert in something like the middle of what is this game they play in America, the Super Bowl, right?
oh,
If you go to check what advertising time during this period on TV costs, yeah, 100 cars doesn't seem so
much.
expensive
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah, yes. So there's all scales, and that's exactly what she was doing. She was marketing,
I mean, yeah,
and she was. It wasn't you'll get 100 of this car, yeah, of or everybody gets a car. See, you get 100 of this specific car, which was probably sponsored to them
it's
for
just
giving away.
yes, it's just
That
funny
all
to
that all
see.
probably started with a phone call from some marketing team going, well, listen, we got these cars. Maybe there was some problem. They weren't selling so well, like maybe there was a new model coming out and they had all of this stock on hand of an older model. And some marketing guy thought to himself, well, if I look at the cost price, because remember also the book price of a car that you look up, it's nowhere near what it costs the manufacturer to make them. There's a huge safety margin in there for them. So also they get wholesale prices and all these kinds of things. So by the time they finished, finding these 100 cars for her and her to give away. Probably it didn't even cost them that much. But the shock factor on the show of her being able to do that is like
Over
very
the
this
roof.
is this
Yes.
is like if you think about Oprah Winfrey, almost everybody remembers that specific show where she gave away, 50 or 60. I don't even know how many
I
cars.
don't know.
Many cars to everybody.
Yes, and
So this is a great piece of marketing combined with a pretty good piece of entertainment because that she set it up, like she had to kind of get the audience into the mood first before she could start just doing this, and there needs to be a certain level of suspense built, and this was her talent. She was really good at spinning a yarn. She was really good at telling a story and bringing it to a climax.
that woman is very interesting actually because now, like I said, we are in the times where like the judgment times now. It's like now we care about what they used to do 50 years ago. That's how it is.
Yeah,
But
suddenly.
yes, yes, not before, but now. And you see the two sides. We see the opera that listens to you, understands you. You have a story. I want to help you. We're gonna make things happen. And then you see the other side of the opera, who was like, in a way, not so nice, very judgy especially with the guest stars. No, because she really knew how to poke each side. The ones that
Hmm.
have nothing, and it's like all sympathy, and I'm like Mother Mary. I'm here for you. And then, yeah, and then we have the guest, like the actual artist, and I'm being like tear apart by pieces with a smile, being super rude, and people was like, yes, she's right. It's like, so it's just like when you see through the most famous talk shows and hosts, they have the same formula. They were not really nice. They were really rude, especially with higher or equal ones. Like they were like
Hmm.
mocking you. They want to see you fall as much as you can. Same thing with Ellen DeGeneres, like the happiest
Yeah,
person
apparently
on
she
earth.
was she was a terrible human being. She
Yes,
is
but
actually.
she
Yeah.
she that was like the most long-standing lie in television because she was always dancing, always happy. It's like, how much happiness and moves do you have for a lifetime? You know,
Yeah, yeah. I guess it should be obvious if someone is,
too happy.
that on all the time. Yeah. I mean, there were red flags, let's be honest. Like, probably even Dr. Folk could figure it out that this person is
It's not
probably a
here.
little bit. Yeah, no, I think she's quite there. I think she's quite clever. I just think, as I understand, she's an incredibly, how could I say, a very charged individual, somebody who's always like that, and expects other people around her to be like that, else she'll bite your head off. I've met people like that, people who are complete workaholics, and they think the entire world should be workaholics, else you're below them.
That really reminds me of The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen? Yeah, I
yeah.
read the book. I read the book in my free time the last couple of months, and I was reading this like dragon lady as a boss, and the movie, she's nicer. She's nothing compared to the book. The book is like, this woman is not cinema material. She is bad. Like you said, like she's a workaholic, and it's like, you need to fix my problem. What's wrong with you? Like a simple thing, like changing, like find me a flight in the middle of a hurricane, just a simple thing, and you're not able to do it. You're an
Mm.
incompetent. Okay. Oh
What to
well,
do? It's like that. Like,
my
yeah,
love.
and people workaholics get that way.
You know what I was thinking while we were talking about reality shows? Did you hear about the reality show they did about the Squid Game?
About what?
The Squid Games?
Squid Games.
Have you heard of the series?
No.
The Korean one? Impossible.
I mean, I've seen the memes, but that's about as much as I know.
Really? So,
Yes.
small brief. Basically, it's um it's a game where they go hunting for people who really need money. Like somehow they do like real time marketing research to see who really needs money, like and owes money, like in big quantities. And there's this person who goes and recruit them, and they play games with them. They kind of let them win in a little bit, like these are child games, and they play and they give them money and things like that, so they get them engaged. And then at the end they give them a card and said, listen, if you there is this thing, if you want to play, you can call. And you make the call, they pick you up, they send you off to somewhere you don't even know where you're going. And when you get in, they assign you a number, the uniform you saw on the memes and everything. And everything is fun and games because what they tell you is like, we're gonna go through 5 days of game. All you have to do is just finish the game, and every time there is like a big piggy bank where they show you the potential amount of money they can win, which is more money than a lifetime. And after that, they don't realize that after each game, you don't just lose, you die.
I see.
Yes, and on the piggy bank, they put the money of the people who died, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So
I see.
that was why it was so famous, just because it was so bloody, let's say.
I see.
People will die every day, and not in the best way.
I see.
Because yes, like they were like how you call it, the guys who stand on like tops of the buildings, pointing at people, shooting from distance. I forgot the name. What's the name
A
of those?
sniper. Yes.
Yes, there will be snipers all over who will kill the person who lost. Like that was their game specifically, killing people.
That that's some Hunger Games shit going on there.
Oh, worse than that. Worse than that,
Yeah.
because there is like the opposite things. Like not only the snipers, that their mission is to shoot you, not kill you, because in the end everybody found out that it was like an organ, how you call it, market they were working
Ah,
on.
yes.
So all these
I
people
see.
that were killing, they were not dead. They were like dead in a way that they could use their organs for whatever
Oh,
yakuza, whatever they were doing. Yeah, that was a whole
I
thing.
see.
Hmm.
I see.
Yes, and
That's
before,
pretty brutal.
oh yeah, yeah, especially because at some point, they were like given free will. It's like, this is your money, and you have, I don't know, 100 more people. So it's your choice if you want them around, or you can just kill them during the night. And, the less people you need to compete with, more money for you. And they were like
Oh well,
create
that
clans and, and like protectors and the ones who need to be dead. It's, it's,
I see.
it's like a society
Yes.
experiment.
Sounds horrific.
Oh, yes,
Horrendous.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. I mean,
Oh,
Hunger Games, at least you knew. Like, the sole fact is like, for you to live, it's others to be dead. That's it.
yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
you have the options, or just don't do anything, do your job, and hope you don't die, or help the numbers go down.
Help the numbers. I mean, that's an actual putting it. I mean, uh, there's been so many variations of that story, and
Hmm.
uh, not only once has it been speculated that stuff like that actually happens. I
It
mean,
has to. That's
yes, yes, there.
I don't believe in like create like creativity in that way.
No, no, no. That's just. I mean, I'm not saying that the person who came up with that maybe just watched Death Race, and got the idea from there. But somewhere along the line, it's pretty likely that something like that, maybe not in the form of a game like that, but most likely it seems. I seem to recall some verified reports of some guys, catching people and setting them free in the woods and hunting them.
Oh man.
You know, yes, yes, stuff like that. People are macabre in that way. Like there is some. Firstly, people can be extremely cruel for some reason. It's
Yeah.
just, it's just in us. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It's quite interesting because we
the
all
very
love
fact the very fact that something like that, that's probably quite hard, should be quite hard to watch for a
it is quite
society,
hard.
but yet we still kind of like it. I mean, it's not like they made the pilot and people went, "Oh man, no, this
No.
is this is horrendous. Nobody's gonna watch this." That
I
should
don't
tell you a
know.
lot about us.
And it's just interesting because it's not the only format that dream with eliminate half of the population or at least a portion. It's like
Yeah,
there's always a way to end up in that. Like half the population has to go. Done.
yeah,
It's like you said, Hunger Games was one. There's always a tribute. Like, I'm sorry if it was you, but somebody has to go and represent. And it's treated like the Olympics. And
yeah.
also, what was the other one? Let's not go farther. Like we were talking once upon a time about Marvel, Thanos. He just like clicks his fingers and half of the world is done, gone. It's just a
I mean,
dream.
I guess it sprouts from this quasi-noble idea, this Machiavellian idea that, there are too many of us
Yeah,
somehow. Yeah. So like if you look at what we truly are doing to the world, and the impact we're having on it, and you see that as negative and only negative. Because I mean, let's be honest, that's kind of the modus operandi of these people. Like they will look at human society, they will sum up, they make the cons list as long as they possibly can, and they say, well, even when they're talking about AI, if AI made the pros and cons list of humanity, we would all be dead because he would clearly decide the world would be better off without us. Then they create this very long cons list, and they never think about the pros. Which is my main criticism of that kind of thinking. Like human beings are pretty cool in some ways, at the very least. Yes, we do some shit things, and yes, we have an incredible impact on our environment, which to my dead reckoning might just be the very reason we're here in the first place. But I mean, there exists this idea that the world would somehow be better off without us. And many people, especially nowadays, subscribe to it. So I'm not at all surprised that again these kind of the people who are in Hollywood are extremely susceptible to these kinds of you know kind of wild ideas, if you understand. Like, and the artistic types always are. It's just a part of their. I don't know what it is about them that makes them so susceptible to these kinds of
same.
ideas. But yeah, yeah. I
It's just
mean,
in, but it's interesting because we as humans and as people who watch, it's all fun and games when we're watching, because for some reason we understand it's like, I mean, it's still a story. Doesn't matter if it comes from a true idea, but we know that people don't really die.
yeah,
Yeah. But they did an actual reality show based on that show, where they had to live in the same conditions. as the people on the show. I mean, they're replicating without the killing part. And people were not happy. They were not happy because, especially because of how they had to live, even if it were 5 days, like small portions of food or living all in the same place, they were not really happy. So it's like I don't know how we stand, and that happens in every single thing. Like we watch, it's okay, but if it happens to me, it's not so okay anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there is a massive disparity between how we imagine the world and how it actually is. Okay. A good example is war, for instance. Like lots of people, they dream about, starting a war and going to war and living through a war. Like it's been so highly romanticized in our media, in the documentaries. They watch stuff about. I even hear nowadays it's becoming quite popular to call it the Great Generation. The people who fought during the Second World War call them the
Mm.
Great Generation. Which in many ways they certainly were. But once you place yourself into that, and I guess this is a part of the problem. Those people aren't around anymore to kind of slap them in the face and say, "Hey, listen, this was hell. This was hell on earth, what we lived through. You most certainly don't want anything to do with that." So I guess it's just this dichotomy of what we think we want and what we can tolerate in reality is not the same.
It is not the same thing. It is not. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we find ourselves in trouble all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time. Absolutely, yes,
All
yes,
the
yes, yes.
time.
Think about how many teenagers have listened to the rap music and seen the music videos of guys carrying a gun, having
Because they
nice
look
gold
nice,
chains and
yes.
fancy cars,
And the walk.
and gone out and tried to gangbang and was just immediately murdered by some hardened criminal. You know, it's again like, and here I think the media should take a little bit of responsibility, right? Because again, it's them who are romanticizing in many ways this type of behavior, this type of lifestyle by showing nice bits. Again, they're cherry picking which parts to show you. So they make gangbanging seem like it's all just gold necklaces and nice cars. And they purposefully leave out the part where, 9 out of 10 of those guys are going to catch a bullet and not make it to 30. So, because obviously that's not good TV. It's okay if, like average people die, but we have to have a protagonist that lives till the end of the show, right? So,
Yeah.
and so it just, and I do think the media they have to start taking a little bit of responsibility for what they show us. And I see actually now, like in America, like at least the social media companies seem to be in quite a pickle now. They've been asked to explain certain things about what they're showing to children, and I think it's good. I think the internet has been the Wild West for long enough. The problem is how far do you go, and so on and so forth. You can't really. It's not the internet is not an easy place to police, for instance. But at the very least, because it's kind of a free for all, you do see the gang violence on the internet. The the real nitty gritty part of gang
Yeah.
banging. So in a way, it's better, than MTV, seeing the gangbangers on MTV, or well, wannabe gangbangers on MTV making music videos and thinking that that's that's the kind of lifestyle you're gonna have if you get into gangbanging. I don't know. It's a difficult thing.
Talking about MTV, now that doesn't exist anymore. But
Does not surprise me at all.
no, it doesn't exist. But I feel, I mean, MTV was quite a big part of for most of us millennials.
Yeah.
I
At the
mean,
very least, until it became a CIA psyop
yes,
somewhere in the mid,
yes,
somewhere in the early 2000s, late 1990s, MTV, when MTV went from going from showing,
just
and
music.
showcasing really good popular music, the moment it switched to this again, this very clearly curated idea of almost pseudo gangsterism, where rock and roll was purposefully pushed aside and
It
hip hop
became a pop
culture
and
was.
pop.
The moment that happened, it lost its authenticity. It lost what it was as MTV. It became something completely else. And there is this conspiracy that it was, in fact, a CIA psyop because
Okay,
they they realized the importance of well, it's got to do with the way that prisons worked. Around the same time, prisons in America stopped being run by the federal government and the states and started being run by private companies. And a part of the deal for the private companies were that the states that they're in and the federal government would help them keep the population at a certain level to make this all financially viable for them. And there is this suggestion, and if I remember it, at least I saw some letters, true or not, but there was the suggestion that that move on MTV was to get more people into prison. Like this was a part of a. There was a letter from some CIA guy to the channel about firstly getting rid of the rebellious element of it. In other words, the rock and roll, the question of man type stuff. Get rid of that and replace it with romanticizing criminals because we need to keep literally because we need to keep the prisons a little bit fuller here.
so fascinating.
And if you look at the statistics, that's exactly what happened.
Well, because it raised criminal rates and murders
Yeah,
and yes, and it's
yeah.
funny because like big names like Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and all these things, it's like yes,
Tupac. Yes, Tupac. Yeah.
exactly. They just like made it
They
public.
romanticized.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
they
like we
made it
killed and
really
it's
popular to
fine.
be a gangbanger.
Yeah.
And they
I
were
mean, we
really, and
die,
they,
but that's part of the whole thing.
and like, look, I don't want to, I don't want to detract from what it is. Like, if you look at me, I'm a big fan of 50 Cent. Okay,
Mm,
I like Tupac. I like Eminem. I like the music. Okay, they made some really good hip hop music back then. Not saying the music was bad because it certainly wasn't. It was
no.
excellent. They were excellent artists. However, the image that they put out into the world, that image was not curated by them. Okay, they're just regular artists, these guys,
Mm,
and they were carefully guided by a whole set of
produce.
people. It was very produced, and let's be honest, mostly by Sony Entertainment and MTV. Most all of them ended up in some kind of argument with Sony Entertainment over their own creative freedoms in some way or another, probably in ways that we don't even know about. But they were presented to the world in a way that was kind of a propaganda in and of itself.
Mm,
And it became very damaging. I mean, it did a lot of good in the sense that it gave us a lot of good music, but it also did a lot of bad in the sense that it introduced and encouraged a whole new level of gang violence all over the world.
It gave
So
them the tools. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It that makes me think of its companion in media, the Latin America in general, which is the Narcos series. You know, it's exactly what they did. It's basically turned a tragedy in something so romantic and fun. You know, it's like these people who were murderers and like
it's an
serious.
adventure.
Yes, you know, in catchphrases, and they make this person we don't love in Colombia like the most charming one. You know, it's like,
Uh,
and it's fine. I mean, people. It seems people tend to forget that it's not television. This is not really television. It's like really
these
created
people,
version of what really
yeah,
happened. It's
yeah,
like people you don't want to mess with, but they look
yeah,
cute and they have catchphrases,
yeah.
you know, and they're smiley and they kill you with a smile in their face, but we love it. It's
Yeah, in many ways, that's another feature of it. You know, like in Latin America, these people have always had this kind of, I mean, gangbanging in Latin America is something almost completely different to what it is in America, even though they're related and they're pretty much doing the same thing. It's sort of got its own life down there because
yeah.
in many ways, in America, you don't need to gangbang to get along just fine. You know, you can do some medial job flipping burgers at McDonald's and be just fine
I mean, the
and
mafia
more than
works in a
enough.
different way.
Yes,
It's
yes,
more,
yes. The
there's
mafia
more
works in a
relation.
different way, and there's also a lot more diversity.
Mm,
Okay, because there it's really farmers and marketers, and these are business people in Latin America, and the problem is that the main difference is like while in the States you have guys gravitate towards this because it's romanticized in the media, it's kind of a choice for them. Okay. In Latin America, in many ways, a lot of
it
these
was
people
forced.
end up in these in
Mm.
these in these positions out of not because they chose this. For instance, the farmers. Like you're just a small farmer struggling to make enough money for your family to eat, and this guy comes to your farm with a nice pickup truck, and he says, "Well, you're going to be growing this plant from now on, and I'm going to be paying you this much," and that's the end of the story,
Or
you
you're
know.
gonna die, and that's it.
Or I'm going to come here, murder your entire family, and give your land to somebody who's going to do what I tell him, and you're going to do it, and
Yeah.
then the relationship becomes mutual at some point, you know.
And not only that,
Because there's a codependency.
not only that, because like what we see from the outside, no, maybe we're wrong, but what we see in like the Italian mafia, let's say, there is a mafia. They're not vanilla, let's say. They're quite dangerous as well, but they're
Yes.
building their own circle and they're working in their own circle. It's they feed each other, you know. You're doing stuff in the wrong way, but you're still in the circle. Once you're in. But here, I don't know now, but the stories they tell about this man is like Pablo Escobar, how they used to do things is like he built his mansions. He will find the architecture and architects. They will talk to them. They wouldn't even know who they were building for. That's the first thing. They wouldn't even know. They just knew they were building something very specific with very specific things, strange things for a mansion, but whatever, it's a job, and they will be paid extremely well. I mean, the best job in the world. What they didn't know is that it was the time, it was the job of the life. It was the biggest and the last one. That was the thing. Like, you finished the job and you wouldn't be seen anymore. You were you became an angel. There was
Yeah.
no more than that. So there was no continuity, let's say. I don't know how the mafia works now. Probably they changed here.
In ways, probably they have. Uh, But no, this is like this what you're saying, especially for people who do things like that. Information is coming from a law enforcement background. Information is power, 100%. If you know this guy has, listen, if you're an architect and you get commissioned to build a multi-million-dollar mansion in the middle of the fucking jungle, you know. Okay, you might not know which one specifically,
But you
but
know
you
it's for
know when
somebody
you take
bad.
that job, this is probably not a doctor. And I have this thing in economics also. If you're at the gas station, getting a fucking gas station burrito, and you look out into the parking lot and you see someone pull in with a really nice car like a new Lamborghini. Your first thought is not, oh, it's a doctor, or it's a
I
or
know.
it's an architect or an engineer. No, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking quite, like
Sure.
almost, yes, it's almost intuitive that that is either a gangbanger, a pimp, or a politician. And that's the reality of it, the way our world is.
That's interesting because I wouldn't specific. Of course, a porch is it's very flashy, I would say. Not
Yes.
too many people have it. Like if we see one over here, it's like, okay, this person has a lot of money, not necessarily bad, but if you see there are specific brands of cars that this type of people like. I don't know why. It's maybe because they're too big, too flashy, too specific. That you once you see them, it's like, oh my God, this person is a traqueto, like we call it here. It's just like person who
Yes.
has money in wrong places.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's also a thing. I don't know. It's just interesting to see how that works. And I think the media help
Oh, yeah.
multiply
Also,
that.
these people are these are practical and realistic people. Like that, in many ways, like there's a reason why in Mexico driving a nice 4x4 is a giant liability.
Yeah.
Okay, just because this is a very useful tool for these types of people, and when they need one, they're just gonna go out and steal one. This is just the reality of the politics of how they operate. They operate above the law. First of all, like the law that says you cannot go and take someone else's car is not a thing for them, right? So if you drive a very nice kitted out, overland vehicle, that's exactly the kind of thing that they can use. It's a dusty, deserty place, and the drugs aren't gonna smuggle themselves. So these vehicles have lots of places to park. I was even listening sometimes on the old YouTube. I watch these guys who buy and sell supercars, right?
Okay.
And they have these wild stories, like the wildest stories about just buying a used car and then taking it to a dealer. And there was one specific one of a guy who, a Chevy Blazer, I don't know, it's an SUV and a nice one. And he found it and it was just beautiful. But it needed a little bit of work, so he takes it to a mechanic. And they discovered like a little mounting bracket in the boot of it. And they didn't know what it was. And then there was a few more things, like there was a few bullet holes in it. Like here and there's a bullet hole. And they couldn't figure out where these bullet holes came from, but they fixed it up and they moved on. And then the guy ended up, because he's a used car dealer, he just drives this thing for a few days until he can get it sold. And he drove it to a party, and it was in a kind of nice neighborhood of California. And the guy gets called by the owner of the house because it's a nice neighborhood. There are obviously people who are, let's say, in this kind of involved in this kind of business. And the owner says, "Hey, listen, I've had like 3 phone calls about that car standing outside. Who's driving it?" The guy's like, "Oh, it's me." And he's like, "Do you know everybody thinks there is a drug lord at my house because they know who that used to belong to?" Uh,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
and yes, yes, and they figured out that the mount that was in the back of this thing is where they used to have the machine gun.
Oh my God.
Yes, yes,
What did
yes.
he do?
Uh, Obviously, he sold it. He eventually sold it to some nice lady in a suburb somewhere, without obviously telling her that you should probably not go down to New Mexico in this because
Oh,
people in
anywhere.
Texas are gonna think
Yeah.
you work for the cartel. Yes.
Just go to the supermarket and
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh my
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So I mean, they're practical people, and I appreciate that about them at the very least. Like they don't fuck around. They do what they're gonna do, and they don't really. There's a practicality about it. It's like they don't operate like CEOs or managers following this kind of tightly scripted way of life. They operate like kings, and this is, I think, a large part of how they become so successful and how they gain this almost, I don't know, quote unquote, godlike status. You know,
I mean,
they operate with impunity.
well, because I mean, you must have a specific kind of intelligence to be successful and to just pull so many strings and make sure they don't break.
Yeah,
I mean, you're the
yeah.
it's
And
it's
knowing how hard you can pull them is this is the hard part, the one
yeah.
that modern politicians can't seem to get right at all is how far can we go before, you know, the skin on our neck starts to show.
Yeah.
But these guys, they've turned it into an art form, and I think that's why people appreciate it. Let me put it, they're not hard to romanticize, especially in the Latin American. The Narcos, they're not hard to romanticize. And I also think they do it on purpose. You have people like Pablo Escobar going around building houses for the community. It's not out of the goodness of his heart. He knows that the more people love me, the more they will tolerate me doing on the back end of it. Okay, so he also knows that information is out there. He knows that if you know something about me and I did
You go
something
down.
good for your family, you're way less likely to share this information with the people that can take me down. Okay, so it's all this. It's all a part of their aura. Literally, Pablo Escobar building houses for the community is aura farming. That's exactly what he's doing.
Oh dear. Anyway, I mean, we literally can keep going for a day talking about this and media, but we're running
Yeah,
out of time.
I see.
Yeah, we'll see you the next episode, I guess. It was a fun
Very good.
conversation, to be honest.
Yeah,
Mm.
excellent.
Thank you for being part of this conversation.
If something landed, share it. Find us on Spotify, Cosecha Salvaje Wild Conversations, link in the description.
See you next week.